All right. So the next one that we did after setting goals was the 24 hours in a day. And I don't know about you, but that was probably the most convicting of the topics that we picked.
Yeah, it definitely hurt.
Yeah, that and so to explain this to why it was convicting. I don't know if I told you, but in Chasm that week, Kimberly Hawthorne talked about stewarding
Mm-hmm.
and how to steward the different things. And you've mentioned it already, right? Being better stewards of the things that we have. And you know, so we did the week where we went through for 7 days and tracked everything that we did for 15-minute increments, 24 hours a day for 7 days a week. And then we analyzed it to see what percentage of our week that item was. And I remember the one that struck me the most is it's a touchy subject. So you get on tithing, right? And people think tithing, that's just the 10% of, what I make. That's the money, right? And you can get into, oh, well, is it before taxes, after tax, whatever. That's your own personal thing. I don't want to talk about that. But I looked at it in the time that I was spending, like with the Father in the relationship, was not even 10% of my time. I think it came out to 5.9% of my week
Mm.
was devoted to that. And to me, that was the most probably convicting, other than I watched more TV than I thought I did. Um, yeah, but I looked at that and I was like, dude, I'm not even tithing on my time. Like, I'm not even giving them 10% of my time, right? And that's our Father, that relationship. So for me, that was really eye opening. What about how'd you feel after that?
So definitely, like I said, it hurt because I knew there
Sorry.
were some issues that I needed to
Yeah.
take care of as far as
Yeah.
time wise. And thinking that you kind of manage it well already is kind of a lie when you don't have when you don't have it all in order. Like if you don't have a goal set, thinking that you're managing your time. And I heard Crochelle talk about this today, and it was called what was the sermon called? Why I do things I don't want to do.
Oh
And
yeah, yeah. That was Paul, right? Was he the one that wrote about that?
yeah, but I don't think he mentioned Paul
Was
through
it?
it.
But I mean, yeah. I think there's a verse about that. Yeah.
Yeah, he was asked by somebody that he respected because he had to start changing his diet, right? And so because he
Oh
was getting older and all this
man.
stuff like that, and he just wasn't keeping to it. He
Yeah.
wasn't setting a goal,
Yeah.
and he was asked, "What do you like to do to give God honor?" And it's kind of threw him off for a second because it's all like, well, yeah, I worship, I do these things, I study, and he goes, you ever thought about doing that in the diet that you're trying to take care of for your life, right? And he's all like, have
Oh.
you ever tried
Oh.
devoting that to God, right? Because
That.
you are the temple of God. You're the holy temple, right? You need to take care of that. He goes, why don't you go and say, I'm going to devote this workout time to God, right? Because
Yeah.
you're
That's an
stewarding your
interesting way of
body,
thinking
right?
about. I like that.
You're stewarding your body, and not just and stewarding your mind, and you're
Hmm.
stewarding all the things that you need to take care of to keep your daily self running, right? And so that kind of struck me, and I'm like, that goes into the 24 hours a day, right? Because I'm not a morning person, and I struggle. A lot of it has to do with back pain,
Yeah.
but
Is
when
that
it comes,
normal for 40s back pain?
well, I mean, I've been suffering since
I
30,
was
so
like,
I
man,
mean,
I'm starting to feel it
it's
now.
a it's a whole thing with me. But anyways, I notice like when I get down to the last minute, oh no, I got to be out of bed. My feet hit the ground. I'm up. I can do that at the first minute instead of the very last minute.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
my mind's telling me I can do this, but my body's telling me no. And then I'm like, I just wasted valuable time.
Yeah.
I could have been reading, praying, got some coffee or energy drink, whatever
Hmm.
I'm getting.
Oh no, we only drink coffee
it,
here. No energy drinks.
or I could have, been doing something productive.
Right. Right.
Um, and also it goes back down to when am I sleeping? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Am I
Oh
giving
yeah.
myself
No.
rest?
No.
Is
Yeah.
that a goal
hundred
that I
percent.
need to set in my 24 hours a day? Right,
Yeah.
and so I need to make sure that I'm resting well. I mean, I know that life it's a balance, but it's not always a perfect balance, and then
all the
sometimes you
time,
have to
right?
change,
It's
right? You
over
have to
a
modify,
long enough time. It's a
right?
balance, right?
And sometimes you won't sleep as much during a certain period of your life, but then when you can, you need to make sure that you
Right.
do. Instead, I mean, I can
Mm-hmm.
watch TV late into the night, but if I get up complaining I'm tired, then that's my fault, right? And so,
Right. It's so easy to not worry about it into the morning, and the best way to have your morning go right is to set it up the night before. And
mm-hmm.
and so what I actually did for this week, I put like everything that was on the table. I just put in this box down here to help clean up.
Yeah.
But I printed out 7 of those sheets, and I put down, and I, instead of doing what did I do, I put on those sheets, this is what I'm going to do for these times. So, and I highlighted sleep was all in the same color and work was on the same color, so I could kind of see how the day, and you know how it was, one whole day was on one sheet, right? And I sat there and I made a routine, like this is what I'm going to do. And yesterday I wrote a journal entry about why is it so hard to stick to the routine. And I remember, in the Jocko Willink is like, discipline is hard because it's hard. And one of the things you talked about was managing time. And I remember hearing someone said, like, there's no such thing as time management, right? You can't manage time because even if I sit here and don't do anything, I just sit on my phone, the time keeps going no matter what I'm doing. It's going to keep going, right? And so, first week, I'll probably give myself a D in following that routine. But I sat down, I printed it out, I coded it, color coded stuff because I'm weird like that. And I broke down like I'm gonna do this on these days. And so it's a start.
Right.
And so, but yeah, that one I got to say that was probably the one where I felt like the worst because I was like, oh man, I'm not doing a good job at this. And I remember one of the things we talked about, like I don't know who brought it up, but we brought up like, man, I don't have in this whole 7 days, I don't have a single 15 minutes devoted to goals.
Right, right.
And then I realized that's because I haven't set any goals. I haven't put anything on any of the boards, which meant that I had no vision. And then I heard a sermon talking about how, the 3 aspects of a marriage and in leadership was like I failed to have that vision, and that caused a lot of heated discussions about certain things because I didn't, and I felt as a leader of my family in that. So it all comes down to tying all this together: the vision, the goals, the 24 hours in a day, being a better steward of my time. So it's
Sarah's not here and she's not feeling well right now, but she was actually applying that. She's all when we're trying to clean the pool because the pool's going green and because the pump just stopped working at its sufficient rate, and she's like, what, we should have been watching videos and reading how to fix this issue instead of watching. I think it was The Rookie. I can't remember.
Hey, Rookie's a good show, man.
And so
not gonna help you with the pool though.
Yeah, and so she's already applying this. I said, you know what, you're right. So it's easy to find something to disagree on that aspect, but especially when you're married, you really have to work on the goal setting together.
Yeah,
if
100%.
If you're not aligned in that goal setting, then you're going to get dragged away because one or the other person will drag you away, right? So
yeah,
from that goal, and with the 24 hours in a day, what was I was thinking something earlier. I was just So sometimes we think that we have to set that goal really hard within that 24 hours a day, and that's just deterring us away from what really needs to happen because it's like the triple challenge, right? They do 5 minutes, right? Five here, 5 here, and 5 here.
Yeah.
But there was always said, if you only can devote 2 minutes, do 2 minutes, right?
It's better than 0.
Right, it's better than 0. So I think your goals, we talked about it earlier about setting a smaller goal or priority of goals, right?
Yeah.
So which one's the most important and which one's the least important? Not that it's not important, but the least demanding one.
Right.
And then you start with the most important, but it doesn't have to be a consuming thing in your life. Because if it is, then you're not going to reach all the other goals.
No.
And you're going to quit. So.
Yep. Yeah. So like what I did was I did on my wide the reason my first goal was because I was behind in the chasm classwork. So I was like, by this day I'm going to be caught up. You know, in the book report, by this day I'm going to be caught up. So a lot of my goals that are going on right now, my wife and our daughters are out of the country, has been getting back to zero, essentially, like getting back to where I'm caught up with everything, and then I can focus more of the energy on where we're going on that vision. So yeah, man, 24 hours in a day, that's it.